Hi there and welcome to Tech Life, a channel where I aim to review everything from selfie sticks to laptops to IDs for coding, video editing, software for producing thumbnails, essentially anything tech related. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you have anything that you think I should review, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to review that product. In this video, we'll be looking at variables. We use variables to store data in a computer's memory. In order to define a variable in Python, we simply type the variable name. So let's fire up Visual Studio Code and create our first variable. The first one we're going to create is called, let's call this top speed. That's it. That's our first variable created. It's not going to do a great deal by itself though, so we can assign values to variables, and the way we do that is to use the equal sign. So we're going to say equals, and we're going to say this variable is equal to 300. So when we run this program, Python will firstly allocate some memory, and then it will store the number 300 within that memory. And finally, it will create a reference to that memory using the variable name. You can think of this variable name as a label to that particular memory space. In order to access the value of that memory location, we use the variable name. And this variable's name can be used anywhere in our program. Okay, now that we have a variable created and we've assigned a value to it, we can use that variable, and we can do something like let's print the value stored within that variable. So we can use a print function, and then we can pass the variable name to our print function, top speed. And if you click our run Python file, top right hand corner here, it's printed out the value stored within top speed, which is 300. You should be able to see that there. Variables can be of different types. So for instance, this variable is of type integer because we've stored a number within the memory space that is referenced by top speed. Variables can also be characters or strings. Variables in Python can also be logical variables, so they can contain a value of true or false. Quite often these variables are called Boolean variables. Numbers, strings, and Boolean type variables are the built-in primitive type variables within Python. We're going to take a closer look at some of these now. So our first variable, we stored a value of 300. 300 is classed as a whole number, and in programming, quite often these whole numbers are referred to as integers. Numbers can also contain decimal values, so a number could be something like 3.2. Decimal type numbers are often called floating point numbers, and variables can contain these values. So let's go ahead and create another variable, and we're going to call this one, let's call this one 0 to 60. Let me just make some room here. So this 0 to 60 variable, we're going to assign a value of 3.2. So this is a floating point number that's been assigned to this variable. And again, we can output the value of that variable by using the print function. And we can say print 0 to 60. Let's leave a space between those two. So if we do Control S to save, and we click the play button up here, we can see that the top speed is printed at 300, and also the 0 to 60 value of 3.2 is printed as well there. Okay, so for our next variable, we're going to create a Boolean type variable. And again, we create a Boolean type variable by giving it a name first. So we're going to name this turbocharged, like so. Again, we use the equal sign, and Boolean variables, if you recall, can either be true or false. And Python, like many other languages, is case sensitive, which means upper and lowercase characters have different meanings. Boolean values should always start with a capital letter. So if I was going to assign the value true to this variable, I would use a capital T, and the remainder of the characters would be in lowercase, like so. If we were going to assign a value of false, again, it would start with a capital F, and the remainder of the characters would be lowercase. If you were to use any other format, so if we decided to type in all of the characters in uppercase, then we would get a red line underneath that value. So linting would highlight the fact that this value is not defined, so it's incorrect. And if we click on this quick fix, it would give us suggestions on how to go ahead and fix the issue. In this case, it's not able to determine what the problem is, but we know what the problem is because we've typed in the value in the wrong case. Again, if we decided to type in the value in all lowercase, we would still get the red line indicating that there is an issue. So let's correct that. I'm going to say turbocharged is equal to true. And then let's print the value of turbocharged. Again, we're going to use a print function, and we will use the name of the variable. And now if we Control S in order to save and click the play button, we can see that top speed is printed at 300. The 0 to 60 time is at 3.2, and then finally turbocharged is displayed at true. So the last thing we're going to look at is strings. So strings are variables that are essentially like text. So it's a sequence of characters joined together. In order to create a string variable, we encase the characters in inverted commas or quotes. And again, in order to create a variable of type string, we have to give it a name. And let's give it a name, model. And we use the equal sign again in order to assign the value. And then we use inverted commas. We can either use these double quotes, or we can use single quotes. I'm going to use double quotes for now. And the value we're going to enter into this particular variable is Ventador, which is a model of a Lamborghini, obviously. And again, in order to display the value of this string variable, we can use the print function again, and we pass in the name of the variable, which is model, and then we do Control S in order to save, and then click the play button, and we can see that Aventador is output as the value of that variable model. Okay, so just a few things to remember when creating variables. Try to use descriptive, short, meaningful names. Avoid using things like TS for top speed or TC for turbocharged. Also remember that Python is a case-sensitive language, so top speed is not the same as top speed. So these will be seen as two totally separate variables. Likewise, if I used top speed, and these are all totally different as far as Python's concerned, we can obviously distinguish and say, okay, top speed is the word top speed, but Python sees these as three totally different variables, and that's based on the different case characters that we're using. Okay. We can't have spaces in between our variables, so we couldn't define this top space speed as a variable in Python. This would be an incorrect syntax. We can, however, use an underscore. So we could say top underscore speed equals 100, and that is a valid variable. I don't tend to use underscores when I'm creating variables. I use what is often called camel case notation. And in this naming convention, basically it allows us to join multiple words together without obviously using spaces or punctuation, and it capitalizes the first letter of every word after the first word. So here, as you can see, the first word is top. I didn't capitalize the first letter there, but the word after that, speed, was capitalized. The first character was capitalized. I think that's it for this video. Let's have a quick recap on what we looked at. So we looked at how to declare a variable. And we created a variable by saying that we just use a valid variable name. We then looked at how to assign values to those variables using the equal sign. We stated that variables can be of different types. We looked at the 4 primitive types within Python, those being integers, floating point, strings, and Boolean. And lastly, we said that we should use descriptive meaningful names for variables, and that Python is case sensitive, and that variable names cannot contain spaces. Excellent. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please do look out for part 3 of this series, where we'll be taking a closer look at strings and string manipulation. Thank you so much. Hope to see you in the next one.